going on, folks? Your host, Cardell Dudley Jr., back with a special episode of All Around. And in this episode, uh, doing a little something special, man. I'm going to announce my 2024 WNBA season award winners. I do this in an annual issue every year. Normally, I just, write it out. But this year, I decided to do it in a digital version, kind of mix it up between designing some pages of the magazine that I normally would post and do, and then also just digitizing it, so to speak, man. And just going through what I've seen, covering the WNBA throughout the summer, even throughout the Olympic break, covering USA team, just the ladies who stood out and dominated consistently throughout the season and have earned certain accolades for this season. With that said, look, we're going to get started, man, for sure. Obviously, that's cover. And we're going to get started with Rookie of the Year, which I'm pretty sure shouldn't be us a surprise. One second. Obviously, Caitlin Clark. Man, look. The damage she did with all the hype and the vitriol that came. And I'm not one of these, individuals that want to say that, it was her, so to speak, and it was a well-deserved vitriol. I don't believe that. I knew that the vets in the league would challenge her because of the hype that she was coming in with, and because of the sometimes over the top exposure that she was getting with people, other members of the media, just trying to jump on the wave of her historic, legendary college career. And it wasn't any fault of her own, man. She's just playing basketball. But it was a combination of people in the media trying to jump on the wave and the ignorance of some of her supporters who's using her success to troll others through many ways. I'm not going to get any deeper than that, but if you've been paying attention, you understand exactly what I'm saying. But nonetheless, man, she was hands down Rookie of the Year. Obviously, Angel Reese was right there for most of the season, but like I say, the last month of the season, she elevated her play. Coming out of the Olympic break, she elevated her play. The rest of the team elevated theirs, and the fever just took off. And it just wasn't even close. I think it was a 7-game improvement from last season to this year with her on the court. She averaged 19.2 points per game, which was first among rookies, 8.4 assists per game, first in the WNBA period, with 5.7 rebounds and 1.3 steals per game. She was flat out, she got it done, man. Look, she has flaws in the game. I'm not going to say she's a complete product. Defensively, she has to get a lot better. She got to get in the weight room, get stronger, do other things, and also be able to navigate in the mid-range to complement her lethal range and the way, and obviously getting stronger and stuff, she'll be able to finish inside more. I think as her career go along, you'll see her add a post game or whatnot, but she's hands down. It wasn't close. It was a runaway Rookie of the Year. And the thing is, the most important thing is, as a floor general, she impacted winning. And I just think it took time for her to adjust to not only the WNBA, but playing with better teammates. I think she realized going a little bit before, a couple weeks before, but going right into the Olympic break, that she doesn't need to be Caitlin Clark at Iowa. She has better teammates, better talent around her. You have Aaliyah Boston, who's the reigning Rookie of the Year. You got Alyssa Smith, man, who's a double-double machine in her own right. Lexi Ho's an accomplished veteran, one of the top defenders, 3-and-D players, and one of the top defenders in the league. And Lord knows you got Kelsey Mitchell, who can get a bucket with the best of them. So you don't need to do all that. What they needed her to do was set the table, and when she had her shots, take them and make them. And that's exactly what she did. When she figured that out, the fever took off. And you saw them punch their ticket to the playoffs, man. And I think it's only up from here. They can just maintain and keep that core, pay them what they deserve, whatever, keep that core together. It ain't gonna be much longer before the Fever are contending for WNBA championship. And right in the mix-up will be Caitlin Clark. Congratulations to her, man. It was a job well done for her to handle the hype and the scrutiny, especially coming straight out of college and going right into the WNBA season with all that hype and having that bullseye on the back. And And look, she took her blows, but she definitely gave some out. All you could do is respect it. And I think she's just going to continue to get better as long as she stay healthy. All right, okay, moving along. My all rookie team. It's fairly simple. Obviously, you're going to start with, Caitlin Clark is a no-brainer, obviously, with her being rookie of the year, in my book. But, you also got throwing there Angel Reese, Aaliyah Edwards, Rakia Jackson from the Sparks, and Reese's teammate, Camila Cardoso out of South Carolina. Once she got healthy, I think she helped the Sky in a big way. You felt the presence in the paint, especially defensively. Look, Angel averaged 13.6 points per game. She was second among rookies in that category, led the league in rebounds at 13.1. And she also put together 1.3 steals per game, which she was tied for first among rookies. Rakia Jackson averaged 13.4 points per game, which was third among rookies. 3.9 rebounds per game, fifth among rookies. Shot 45% from the field, which is also third amongst rookies, and 34% from deeps, which was second among rookies. She proved to be a three-level scorer and a very, very good rebounder, especially from the guard spot, an efficient three-level scorer. So, again, for Rakia Jackson, the Sparks, she has a bright future as well. She just, again, keep getting better, stay healthy. And Cardoso, she was first among rookies in blocks, averaging 1.4 blocks per game. And she also shot 52% from the field, which was first among rookies. And Leah Edwards for the hometown Washington Mystics averaged 7.6 points per game, which is fifth among rookies, 5.6 rebounds, fourth among rookies, and was second among rookies in field goal percentage at 49%. So all these ladies are definitely deserving this honor, and they have bright futures, man. You know what I mean? Came into the league and made an impact, made their mark on their respective teams, man. So it's only up from here for these ladies. We're gonna continue to move on. Sixth woman of the year. I have to go with Tiffany Hayes of the Los Angeles Aces, man. Averaged 9.5 points, 2.1 assists, 2.8 rebounds, and shot a ridiculous 50% from the field, 40.2% from deep, and a respectable 71.4% from the free throw line. Her impact was bigger than what most people thought and think. Look, Chelsea Gray was injured last season in the finals. Took her a while to get her bearings as this season came back, especially, rehabbing, getting healthy enough to play. Then she had to get in shape while the season was going on. They traded for Tiffany Hayes, who's been a long-time starter. She put her ego to the side, obviously on the championship caliber team, and just filled the role. And she filled that role beautifully, man, especially just being that extra energy and the extra scoring punch off the bench, man. And she actually won a lot of games for the Aces when they were having their ups and downs throughout the season. She came to the game, brought the energy, brought the scoring, brought the facilitating, and she held it down until Chelsea was able to get some type of rhythm where, the Aces were able to put some wins on the board and then get back in the mix, man. She's had a hell of a season. And honestly, without Tiffany Hayes, the Aces probably would have been in even more trouble. They'd have been playing one of the top seeds instead of being in the middle pack. They'd have been playing the Liberty or Minnesota or Connecticut in the first round. For sure. You know what I mean? Because they wouldn't have been able to put together wins. With them being up and down. As much as Asia was just killing, we'll get to her in a few. They needed Tiffany Hayes' impact, and they needed her production. And they was hoping to get that when they traded for her. And when she came on board, she did exactly what they were hoping for. So definitely major props to her for thriving in a new role that she's not accustomed to. Many that's been a long time starter, they struggle with that. For her, there was no problem, and it deserves the utmost respect. Next up, Defensive Player of the Year, Nafisa Collier. It was kind of close between a couple players, specifically Asia Wilson, you could say Stewie. It's a lot of players that had great seasons defensively, but I don't think none of them overall did what Nafisa Collier did. Look, she averaged 9.7 rebounds per game. Yes, that's a part of defense when you're playing when you playing defense, the only way you can get off defense is to get the rebound. So that's how you end defense and start your offense. So it's a big part of it. And she was third in the WNBA in that category, 9.7. She also averaged 1.9 steals per game, which was second in the WNBA. She averaged 1.4 blocks per game, which was sixth in the WNBA. And she had a 91 defensive rating, which was first in the WNBA. Also, 3.7 defensive win shares, which was second in the NBA. Like I said, I just showed you the facts, the numbers across the board. She was elite. And the beautiful thing about the fees, she could literally guard 1 through 5. Literally. She's an undersized big at about 6 feet 6'1". But she'll go down there and guard Asia and the Stewies and the John Quills and the Alyssa Thomas, all of them. And then next thing you know, she's out on the perimeter chasing Kelsey Plum, chasing Chelsea Gray, chasing Ionescu, Vandersloot, like chasing Carrington. She defends everybody. It's just whatever the matchup calls for to win that game. You'll see Cheryl Reed's call her number if needed, and she obviously looking at the numbers, the Lynx season, and the damage fees is done this year. When her number's called, she gets the job done more times than not, and that's all you can ask for. So she's elevated her game overall to the point where when you talk about the top players in the WNBA, it isn't just a 2-horse race between Asia and Stewie. You got to throw Fee's name in there, man. That's just a testament to the hard work she put in all season, especially coming off having a baby. That deserves a hell of applause. So salute to Nafisa Collier, my defensive player of the year. We're gonna continue to move on to to the all defensive first teams. Simple Nafisa Collier. I just threw that out there. You also have Asia Wilson. Self-explanatory, second in WNBA rebounds, 11.9, average 1.8 steals per game, which is fifth in the WNBA, 2.6 blocks, first in the WNBA, 92.4 defensive rating, which was second in the WNBA. She could have easily won Defensive Player of the Year. I just think Fees gave a little bit more this year with her versatility and guarding everybody, whereas Asia kind of more stays in the front court, so to speak. Dejanay Carrington, obvious choice. Like, what can you? She was a demon on on that end. Like, I spoke about Caitlin Clark's impact. Out of everybody that's guarded Caitlin, Dejanay's probably guarded her the best. So, she was amazing this season. 95.7 defensive rating, which was seventh in the WNBA as a guard. Defending all the top perimeter players. Whoever the Sun plays, she defends their top perimeter player, and it shows where her defense rating. She locks them up. 1.6 steals per game, ninth in the WNBA. So not only is she active, she moves her feet, she gets stops. You have to be careful with her with the ball, passing lanes. You careless with the ball, bringing it down low, not keeping your dribble tight. She'll get it. So well-deserved honor for her, man. She definitely put her fair share of work in. Alana Smith. A lot of people don't even talk about Alana Smith. But I feel like she deserves first team all defensive honors for the Liberty. 93.2 defensive rating, third in the WNBA in that category. Average 1.5 blocks, fourth in the WNBA as well. 6'4", but she can guard the 2 to the 5. She's a big reason why the Liberty are hard as hell to beat, why they have the number one seed, and why hands down they've been the number one team in the WNBA throughout the entire season. She provides great relief for Stewie and John Quill and plays well with them. And when they are all three of them on the floor, it's tough. It's tough to score. You're dealing with all world defenders all across the front line, and it's tough to deal with, man. So Alana Smith, man, if you don't know, watch some film, study on her. I'm sure you will be impressed. Next up, obviously, Stewie, man. I ain't really got to get too much in this. 8.5 rebounds per game, eighth in the WNBA, 1.7 steals, three-way tie for sixth in the WNBA, 1.3 blocks, eighth in the WNBA, 93.8 defensive rating, fourth in the WNBA. Speaks for itself. Her, Stewie, and Fees are right now battling for being the top player in the game, obviously. Then I will go to Asia because she got the defender championship. She just beat Stewie, and Fees just elevated the Lynx back to that level. So we'll see where it goes, but they're all in the mix, man. Next up, Breonna Stewart. Oh, I just said it. So that ends it. So Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, DJ Carrington, Alana Smith, and Breonna Stewart is the first team. Now we're going to move on to the all defensive second team. And with that, we'll start with Angel Reese. I spoke about why I think she deserved to be there earlier when we was talking about the top rookies. A lot of people may not have her on this, but if you watch the game, you understand how much of an impact she makes defensively. All right, look, the rebound speaks for itself. Okay. She led the league in rebounding fine. But when she gets in pick and roll situations and she hedges out on a guard to keep the guard from turning the corner, the way she can get back to the big quickly and get steals the rolling pass or the pop out pass or whatnot, or just get back to the big she was guarding and get back between that big and the basket to stop that big from making that play or scoring or whatnot. It's sick. It's sick how quick she is, man. She's a menace on defense. She's a menace, and with her offensive rebounding, with her defensive rebounding, with the way she fights over screens and how she can get out there and guard 3 through 5 effectively. She's a special defender already as a rookie. Whereas Caitlin was a monster on the offensive end, Angel to me was kind of that on the defensive end for this guy. So for her going into next season, I'm talking about Reese just getting a little stronger, and once she gets a little stronger and be able to hold the weight and gets more explosive and even more quicker and faster because of the added strength and whatnot and the way she can hold her position on the block, she's going to be even better. And then I expect her with her rebounding. Yeah, I definitely expect her to be in the mix for winning Defensive Player of the Year fairly soon. I think she's that special as a defender. Next up, Alyssa Thomas. She's a mainstay on this on these teams, man. One of the best all-around players in the game. She was 5th in defensive rating with 94.4, average 1.6 steals, which was 10th in the WNBA, and 8.4 rebounds per game. It's just business as usual for Alyssa Thomas, man. She's strong, she's mobile, she's quick, and she's very instinctive. She can literally guard 1 through 5, but I know they don't put her on ones a lot. But mostly when she got to switch out on the guards and stuff, she does a great job of staying in front of them. We all know what she does with the front court players with bigs. She's a mainstay. You pretty much can pencil her in for the next 5 to 7 years, man. She's gonna be on this list. Next up is Jonquil Jones, the Liberty. Average 9 rebounds per game, which is 6 in the W. 1.3 blocks per game, 7th in the WNBA, and 95.4 defensive rating, 6th in the WNBA. Again, that monster front line with Jones, Stewie, Lana Smith. It's hell. It's hell for teams. It's hell for anybody to deal with, man. They all are 6'4 plus, and they all can defend multiple positions. They're agile. They're smart. They play well with the team. Their rotations. They can block shots, rebound, dig downs, help out. They're just complete defenders, all 3 of them. So it's a nightmare dealing with that, man. And Jonquil is no slouch on that end. When she really locks in, she's a defensive player of the year caliber defender when she really locks in her damn self. So, the Liberty gonna be a tough out thanks to that front court. Next up is Nneka Ogwumike, another one standout for who kind of gets overlooked now because of the emergence of some of the younger bigs, dominating. But she's been consistent pretty close to a decade. Average 1.9 steals per game, which was 3rd in the WNBA. She was her and Ezzy Mbegger, who I'm gonna get to in a little bit, to round out the defensive team in the front court for the Storm. They were the defensive anchors for that team. they covered up a lot of flaws defensively for the Storm. They did. And Nneka, she can get out and guard on the perimeter, and she can guard on the post. And she's a great team defender, great communicator, great leader, great anchor defensively, man. She makes everybody's job easier. She's kind of what she brings to the table is kind of unsung because she just does her job and goes away. She don't really bring a lot of attention to herself, but if you watch the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So she's been doing this throughout her career, so it should be no shock that she's on the defensive team. And last but not least, like I said, Ezzy McBagger, excuse me, Nneka Ogwumike's partner in crime in the front court for the Storm. Elite shot block and rim protector, but she also is a sound defender as well. She had a 95.7 defensive rating, which was 8th in the W. And she averaged 2.2 blocks per game, which was 2nd in the WNBA. So while Ogwumike did her damage on the floor with the steals and staying in front of people, if they got by her, she just introduced them to McBagger. And McBagger was sending it back, and they was off to the races. Simple as that. So these are my all-defensive first and second team. So we're about to move on to most improved player. Got to give that to Dejanay Carrington from the Connecticut Sun. Averaged 12.7 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 1.6 assists per game, and 1.6 steals per game. Had a 96 defensive rating and 2.8 defensive win shares. Just complete. Impacted both ends of the floor. Courtney Williams moving on a couple years ago. Forget her name. Point guard Jasmine. Retiring that long-time point guard, moving on, retiring. I think she's coaching now. The backcourt was kind of iffy. You know what you're going to get with Bonner. You know what you're going to get with Alyssa Thomas and whatnot, and Bree Jones. The front court going to bring, but they needed to shore up the backcourt, and that's what they did. Dejanay got better. She became their best, not even their best, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. She upped her scoring, rebounding, and became a solid playmaker as well, man. So just a testament, man. She earned every accolade she can get. I know some people, she's not a fan favorite for some people because of her intensity, especially against Caitlin Clark or whatnot. But she's a competitor, and she's a big reason why the Sun are in the mix of possibly winning a WNBA championship. So, kudos to her. Hell of a season. All right, we keep it moving. Almost finished. Coach of the Year, Cheryl Reeves. The 11-game improvement from 2023, where they were 19-21, to this year, where they were 30-10. Won the Commissioner's Cup champions, and they finished as the second seed in the WNBA, and are well within reach. And it's a possibility that they can win it all. You know what I mean? And Cheryl Reeves is one of the greatest coaches in WNBA history. She had a rough patch after that Dynasty Links team with the Maya Moores and Rebecca Brunson, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen, all those ladies. They retired and moved on or whatnot. They kind of thought, it was over for the Lynx because it's hard to duplicate that type of success that they had and that dynasty that they had, man. It's only been a couple dynasties. You got the Comets, and what I mean by dynasty, you win multiple championships, 2 to 3. And it's the Comets and the Lynx in the history of the game, the WNBA. And so a lot of people didn't think she'd be back in the mix, but they drafted well, picked up some key free agents, especially Courtney Williams. Fees elevated her game to a ridiculous level, MVP level, and this is what you have, man. Just a hell of a year. Also led the USA Women's Olympic team to gold medal. She's just having a hell of a year as a coach, man, and this should be no shock. If she has the right talent on her team, she's going to make it happen. She's one of the greatest coaches in the WNBA history. So just another honor that I feel like she rightfully deserves. Now we get to all WNBA teams. We're going to start with the first team. Asia Wilson, self-explanatory. Fiza Collier, I just spoke on her, self-explanatory. Brianna Stewart, also self-explanatory, but I'm elaborating a little bit more. 20.4 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and the Liberty has the best overall record in the league. Next up, INX School, 18.2 points per game, her career high, 6.2 assists per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and she's gotten a lot better defensively. She's become complete, and it's a big reason why the Liberty have been held to beat. Because before last year, you could pick on the backcourt. Can't do that no more. Can't do that no more. And last but not least, Caitlin Clark. Got to put the rookie up there. Got to put the rookie up there. And this is no height, whatever. I just watched the games. She put in work. Led the league in assists. Scoring was up there. Tough shots. Wasn't scared in the moment. Made the players around her better. If she gets it together defensively, and it's going to take a lot of work and build herself up physically and all that, where you got to deal with her on both ends, whew, prayer. You're going to need prayer. That's all. That's it. You're going to need prayer, man. So, simple as that. That's my first team. Then we're going to move to the second team. You got Jewel Lloyd, 19.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 3.6 assists per game. Strong numbers, but her efficiency got to get better. I think her efficiency kind of dropping this year. The Storm suffered because of it, because she's so dynamic and they put the ball in her hands. But it's something to say when a down year for you is nearly 20 points per game, nearly 5 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists. That tells you how great she is and what she's capable of doing. So if her efficiency was better, she could have easily made a run for being on the first team, because her numbers would have been better and the Storm would have been better, and they would have won a few more games. Simple as that. But Jewel Lloyd is Jewel Lloyd. She's one of the best in the league. Next up is Kelsey Plum from the Aces, 17.8 points per game, 4.2 assists, 2.6 rebounds. She's their sharpshooter and one of their defensive stoppers on the perimeter. Love her competitive nature as well, man. So she obviously deserves to be up there. Alyssa Thomas, look, she had it down here scoring wise, but same deal with her, almost averaging the triple double, 10.6 points, 8.4 rebounds, 7.9 assists, 1.6 steals on 50% shooting from the field. Kind of self-explanatory. And Jonquil Jones, 14.2 points, 9 rebounds, 3.2 assists on 53.9% from the field, 39.1% from deep, and 78% from the free throw line. Just ridiculous, off the charts efficiency scoring the ball, but still being able to do the other things, rebound and make the players around you better. There's Jonquil, man. She's one of the unicorns in the league, and it's always good to have one of them on your team. And in the Liberty's case, they have a couple. So that's why they have the best overall record in the league. And last but not least, Nneka Ogwumike, 16.7 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists, 1.9 steals, 51% from the field, 40% from deep, 87.6% from the free throw line. So she's literally one of the most efficient players in the WNBA. She's 3 percentage points away from being a part of the ever-exclusive 50-40-90 club, which is nearly impossible to do. It's only like a handful of players in the history of the game, men's and women's combined, that have had that level of efficiency scoring the ball. And she was knocking on the door of having it, man. So that tells you, more and more about Ogwumike's greatness, man. Speaks for itself, and she's one of the greatest of all time. Definitely first ballot Hall of Famer. Last but not least, drum roll, MVP. Y'all knew it was going to be AJ Wilson. What can you say to me? Like I said, it's a group in that mix. But right now, the head of that mix, number one, is AJ Wilson, best overall player in the game. First in points per game, 26.9. Second in rebounds per game, 11.9. Fifth in steals, 1.8. First in blocks per game, 2.6. Second in defensive rating, 92.4. And first in efficiency rating, 34.9. What more do I need to say, man? And when the Aces started off the season 8-7, 500, people were starting to ask, like, what's going on? Is it the championship hangover? No Chelsea Gray banged up. Like, are they gonna get it together, man? All that. When I say Asia put on her cape and went to work, that's what I mean. She put on her cape and went to work, and she willed the Aces from 500. And at that point, I believe out of the playoffs, willed them to the fourth seed, 27-13 for the rest of the season. So after starting 8-7, they went 19-6 for the rest of the season. Oh, and we ain't gonna forget that in the middle of that, they took a break. She went to France, Paris to be exact, handled business and led USA basketball, the women's side, to the gold medal. She just happened to have time for that to do that as well. So, hands down, the best player in the game. She's already one of the greatest players in the history of the W. Just a matter how much she's gonna climb that ladder to challenge for best ever. If she keep winning championships, keep piling up MVPs and all that, it's well within reach. She could definitely see it, man. But just dominant, and I really had nothing to critique as far as negative in her game. Complete, does it all, a leader, dog, man. She's everything you want in a number one pick or a high pick when you're picking someone to change the trajectory of your franchise and somebody you could build around for the next 10, 15, 20 years if you're blessed. She's the epitome of that. And I'm sure the Aces going to be happy. So with that said, man, these are my 2024 WNBA awards. New issue, Finest Magazine, 45. I appreciate you for tuning in and joining me and checking it out on a special episode of All Around. A lot more of these episodes to come, man. So, do your own research. Check out some highlights of these ladies if you're not too familiar with some of these names. And also check out the WNBA playoffs as this issue goes to press, man, as it's released, man. Playoffs should be in the semifinal stage and ramping up. Should be a couple games in where kind of determined to see who's going to make it to the finals and, who will be in pole position to try to become champions, man. So, again, thank you for joining me, and see you soon.